Tessa Jowell is still with me, and we've been joined from Glasgow by Rhea Wolfson, who is standing for election to Labour's NEC this summer. Rhea Wolfson, at least 4 of the 40 MPs who backed Jeremy Corbyn in the confidence vote have now also changed their minds and think he should stand down. Isn't his position now untenable?
I don't think it's untenable. I think that it is difficult and it is harmful to the party, the way that people are interacting right now, the way the parliamentary party is interacting with the membership. But I don't think it's untenable as long as Jeremy sticks to the principles that he stood for election by, which is respect for the membership and democracy. I don't think it's untenable. I hope that the parliamentary Labour Party also fall in line and recognise that Jeremy's standing, not for himself, but for the members.
Isn't that a slightly naive view when you look at the parliamentary party? I mean, they're not going to fall into line, are they? 80% of them have made it very clear they want him to go.
Well, I think it's hopeful rather than naive, and it's also a plea as opposed to it being naive. I've spent the last week travelling all over the country speaking to almost thousands of members as part of this campaign, but also to talk about Jeremy Corbyn and the leadership. And they're devastated, and they are hoping that they, as party activists, can continue passionately advocating for the party. So it's a plea.
OK. Let me put that to Tessa Jowell. I mean, Rhea Wolfson's been talking to members and they are devastated. Yes, what evidence is there that Jeremy Corbyn has actually lost the support of the Labour Party membership?
Well, I think, first of all, polling shows that his support is collapsing. The number of people...
Collapsing? It doesn't show it's collapsing.
Yes, the number of people who come up to me in the street and say, can't you get a new leader? The Labour Party's dying. But perhaps the strongest evidence is the last 2 meetings of the Parliamentary Labour Party, which were... so passionate, so upset, so angry about Jeremy Corbyn's refusal to stand down. And, the rules, as your film showed, the rules may be unclear and open to interpretation. What is not unclear is that there is no confidence in Jeremy Corbyn in the Parliamentary Labour Party. He is honour bound to maintain support of his MPs. He has lost that. And, part of that is compounded by the degree of intimidation and abuse, the fear with which members of Labour MPs' staff are coming to work every day, fearing the threat of intimidation and worse.
I'll put that to Rhea in just a moment. But before that, Rhea is saying that members themselves are equally upset and devastated, I think was the word she used, by this challenge to Jeremy Corbyn, who was democratically elected too. So do you accept that the party is split completely between the parliamentary party and its membership?
No, I don't. I accept that, that presumes that members of Parliament are not in touch with their members, engaging with their members every weekend. They were bringing back to the parliamentary party last night and the week before the result of consultation with their activists, who overwhelmingly, by their accounts, want Jeremy Corbyn to do the decent thing for the Labour Party and stand down.
Right, what do you say, Rhea Wolfson, about these anecdotal evidence and claims from MPs of intimidation and fear?
Well, if the MPs are suffering any intimidation and fear, then that's totally unacceptable. It's not the mood that I have seen and encountered at the meetings that I've been to. It has been sadness and frustration, but certainly not intimidation or anger in that way. I think that, anecdotally, obviously the party is split, but actually, at these Keep Corbyn rallies we've been having around the country, 25,000 people have now engaged with them. The membership has grown by over 60,000. When we kind of looked at when that had grown by 30,000, over half of those had joined to support Jeremy Corbyn. So I think it's a total fallacy to say that Jeremy's support is collapsing. And whilst I certainly recognise that there is a division, it's clearly the PLP are not listening to all their members. At least Angela Eagle, if you look at her constituency, her local constituency passed a motion in support of Jeremy Corbyn. So she doesn't have the support of those group of people. And I feel frustrated, and that's replicated across the country, that members are being disenfranchised.
Well, what do you say to that?
You see, what I think, I talked to Angela about her meeting. She faced homophobic abuse at that meeting, talked to MPs all around the country, and under the influence of momentum, activists and members of Parliament and their staff are facing day in, day out, harassment and, in some cases, intimidation. And I famously remember, you know, I was in the Labour Party fighting all this in the 1980s. That was militant then, it's momentum now. They are different bodies, but they are neither are bodies, if you like, that respect the wider electorate that wants to see a Labour government.
Right, well, let's put that to rest.
And that prospect is slipping further and further from possibility.
And that's what was talked about, Rhea Wolfson, last night at the Parliamentary Labour Party by the former Labour leader Neil Kinnock, and he knows about all of this from the 80s. I mean, he reminded Labour MPs that people in supermarkets told them that Ed Miliband was unelectable and asked them to apply that supermarket test to Jeremy Corbyn. Do you think he'd pass it?
I think he would. I think around the country
he would. So you think he is elected?
I think... Honestly, you really want to get out more. Go and stand at some bus stops.
I think that's quite insulting, actually, the idea that I'm not on the doorstep and that I'm not an activist. I am a party activist. I went round in the general election. I campaigned actually beside you in Brent Central. I campaigned everywhere. I've been campaigning in Scotland for the Scottish elections. I will be working hard for the for the council elections that we have next year. And so do these momentum activists. They are not on the fringes of the party, the mainstream of the party. There's councillors involved, there's local representatives.
Right.
Actually, these people are speaking to people, and I think it's insulting to say otherwise.
So do you agree, though, with Tessa Jowell that if it carries on like this, there will be a split? Because there isn't anything to reconcile these two sides of the party. Shouldn't it be a case that you, Rhea Wolfson, and the MPs, the ones that are left, and the Labour Party members go off and form a new party? Or Tessa Jowell does the same?
No, we're not. You know, I and people of my politics are not leaving the Labour Party. We're here to make sure that the Labour Party has a prospect of representing the people of this country in government.
Right, Rhea, what do you say?
Absolutely, and no, I agree there should be no split in the party. I think it would be absolutely devastating for those who need a Labour government and need it right now. I'm just actually devastated that we're not governing at the moment. We could be governing from opposition. We've proven that we can do it, and I think it's really sad. But no, I don't want a split. I will not be leaving the Labour Party. So
you wouldn't suggest that there should be some sort of declaration of independence by MPs against Jeremy Corbyn, because there'd be more of you. You could set up as the official opposition.
Certainly not. And I must say, this discussion reminds me of a great declaration by Ted Knight, who's still in the struggle, as he would put it, way back in the early 1980s, when he stood up at a public meeting and said there can be no compromise with the electorate. And it is the electorate, the people of this country, who want a Labour Party that they can believe in, who are being so badly let down by Jeremy Corbyn's refusal to do the decent thing in the interest of our party.
OK. I mean, Rhea Wolfson, we know that Tom Watson is meeting with unions. That is presumed to be another plea for him to go. You think he'll stay?
I'm not sure what will happen in that meeting with the unions. I hope the unions continue to support Jeremy Corbyn as they have done to this point, and I will stand by Jeremy Corbyn as he continues to represent the membership of the Labour Party.
Rhea Wolfson, thank you.
Thank you.